I-24 News can exclusively reveal that the United States is initiating steps to help form a Palestinian unity government, which would include leaders from factions Fatah in Ramallah, Hamas in Gaza, and professional experts. A source in the Israeli government telling I-24 News about the plans a short while ago. This initiative aims to stabilize the economic and political situation within the Palestinian Authority. So for more on this breaking news, our correspondent Guy Azrael is here in studio. So Guy, a Palestinian unity government being set up with the help of Washington. What details can you tell us?
Yes, I think, Benita, it's a very ambitious plan, if we may say, by the American administration. And when we get to the reactions, we'll learn how complicated that is. But firstly, the idea behind this plan, an idea to initiate a unity government that would include members of the ruling Fatah party, the Hamas, and also some professional experts that would help this government get together. And the goals here are three for the Americans. First is to end that long split between the Palestinian factions, namely Hamas and Fatah. The last Palestinian elections to parliament and presidency were back in 2006, and ever since then we've seen that split really growing between the two sides, with a very short break of a unity government back in 2014 that didn't even include Hamas. Another idea there is to promote calm in the region, mainly when it comes to Gaza and the ongoing armed conflicts with Israel. The idea is that a unity government like this would be a basis for a long-term truce with Israel, on the basis on which this government will be formed. And thirdly, wanting to rebuild the Palestinian economy, and through cooperation of this kind, perhaps that would be possible to do once the factions cooperate and work together in the same government.
Talking about that cooperation, what kind of reaction has there been from Palestinian factions to this report?
Yes, when we talk about the complexity, their first reaction we're getting from a Palestinian minister just a few moments ago. This is the Minister Ahmed Al-Majdalani. He's the Minister of Social Development, and we can see his quotes now on screen. First of all, he's saying the Palestinian Authority will not accept any dictations from the U.S. administration about the inter-Palestinian issues. So right off the bat, objection to any external interference in their internal issues. And second of all, they would say that they would not respond to any such initiative until some of their demands are being answered, namely the reopening of the U.S. consulate in Jerusalem, a hot topic that the Palestinians are pushing very hard on. Israelis really object to, also mentioning things like not evicting the Palestinian families from Sheikh Jarrah in East Jerusalem. So a long list of demands for the Palestinians before they even agree to speak to the U.S. About this possible initiative.
And Guy, what would all of this mean for Israel, particularly given its security coordination with the Palestinian Authority and, of course, ongoing tensions with Hamas in Gaza?
Yeah, no doubt a very bitter pill for Naftali Bennett to swallow should Israel agree to this. And the senior source in the Israeli government we spoke to said that Israel has yet to formulate an official opinion about this initiative. But of course, that makes life very complicated for Israel. The security coordination between Israel and the Palestinian Authority includes the arrest of Hamas officials in the West Bank. How is that going to happen when Hamas is part of that unity government? That's just one of the many complications for Israel, and namely the fact that Israel will have to speak to and cooperate with the entity it defines as a terrorist organization.
We certainly will continue